Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I do want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Kakadash, the ones the apostles and those great millstone for teaching us this true peace and blessings to the hope of Israel. Yahweh is the name of the and Father and people. Ba'Shem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the Megan Son. Back on our lesson, as he within the title, going to be going to the weaker vessel, which is, the woman. Another point we're pushing up the lesson, how there is an order to these things, or there's just an order in general, especially when it comes to the relationship with the man and woman. And you see in today's society where these women are put on a pedestal, they're on top in today's society, where it's just completely out of order and just rebellious. These women think that they were the pants within the household, within these relationships, that they're on top of the pecking order per se. But you come to these last days, they'll soon find out that they're not on top. Or some further going to that established order where the man is the head. So we're gonna play this quick video that I came across. I thought I'd make a quick lesson, going into it, because it's also within the scriptures. And we're not just saying this to say it. Cause you will have people hear us say these things and say, y'all hate women, y'all are this, y'all are that, yada yada yada. Well, no. It's within the scriptures. There is an order. Hey, you have a problem, hey, take it up with the Lord. But let's play it real quick. Got a couple scriptures. Shouldn't be too long of a lesson. Something to do with spirit. Let's dive into it.
Respect women. That being said, and I will say some women, when it comes to, and I sent a post out about this on Instagram, when it comes to logic and sense, women come up short. They deal in emotion and anger.
And hey, there you go. And when I first came across this, the first thing that came to mind was they're the weaker vessel. They're more prone to what's an emotion, as he brought up, these, which I should go back to that.
They deal in emotion and anger, and it's like when they get,
and just going back to that point, I was trying to find another word, but they're more prone to giving into emotion and acting based off that instead of logic, which he also made that point. This is why we're not to be in these leadership like positions.
upset, they try to hurt you with the thing that works for you the most.
And that's another thing that you see heavily being pushed in today's society, that these women can do what a man does and do it better. This feminist slash independent spirit that you see being pushed. But as I keep bringing up that point, there is an order. And I just said a few minutes ago, where these women are not to be in these top leadership like positions, because he made that point right there where these women act based purely off of emotion.
Like when they break up with a guy, that's why you got a little dick and you can't fuck. Bitch, you was with me for years. Now my dick is little and I can't fuck. I respect women.
But that's the point. Let's get a couple of these scriptures, and you'll further expound that point throughout the lesson. But it's 1 Peter 3:7. First scripture came to mind, and it said, "Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, and giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel." So we're not just saying this to say it. Through on top one more time, it says, "Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor to the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered." But that was the main point I wanted as well as tying back into 1 Corinthians 14 and 40. It says, let all things be done decently and in order. So there is an established order. And in today's society, you see that it is just done away with. It's all out of whack. It's all jumbled up. You have the woman on top in today's society on this pedestal. You have the man, being pretty much what's what I'm looking for. You're just trashed. You're looked upon as bad, as useless. But they come to these last days, and be the same exact woman that said they didn't need a man. They'll be begging and crying for one of these last days, especially for a man in the Lord. And just going back to what we just read, with let all things be done decently, and in order. Because I made that point earlier, where these women are not to be in these leadership, positions. Because once there is an order, there's a balance to these things. The men, have their jobs, and the women have theirs. They all have their particular duties that they are to do. And what's in the duty of the man is to be, that head, that leader. Especially of the house, man. And you see that heavily being pretty much done away. The woman pushing out the man out the house, and this feminist, rebellious, independent spirit that you see being pushed. And those ones, I'm trying to point together the best of my ability. Sound like a broken record repeating certain things, but this is hard for a lot of people to grasp. Especially a lot of these, shrimp, jakes out here, man. This is 1 Timothy 2:12, and that's, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. So once and further going to that established order. Further going back to that point, once you're dealing with the weaker vessel, which is the woman. And we play within that video how these women are more prone to acting based off purely off of emotion, anger, and various other things, and they're especially more susceptible to these attacks in the spirit. You also have these demons that will be working through a lot of these women. This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. Just make sure. Yep, okay. This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 3, and it says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, which is Yahweh Shai, and the head of the woman is the man. Further going to that order. And we're further going to show we're not just pulling this out of our behind and just saying this. But this also going to show just how through this place is. Can you see how out of order and just out of whack everything is? That they have a problem with the order. And you women that will continue to do whatever you want to do, be rebellious, do whatever you want to do, doing whatever you want. So like, I'm trying to find my words. And you either get with the program, or you go and kick rocks, man. And I guess what, a lot of you are going to go and kick rocks. But there's a reason I'm talking more time. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. And that's about, I would have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of a Mashiach is the Most High. So further going to that order. I got two more scriptures, and that'll be the point. Just, quick hit through spirit. There's a Proverbs 16 and 32. As he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. see what the NLT has to say. And then once I just wanted to get that point further going to show just how these women are the weaker vessel. They're more prone to, giving into these, attacks, as well as, basing their reactions, purely off of emotion. This is why you have these women out here getting, slapped, put in check, and even taken out over, their tongue. Because they want to run their mouth, and they especially get their man into some deep crap. But now he's having to step up and defend her. As Proverbs 16:32, see what the NLT says, it's better to be patient and powerful, better to have self-control than to conquer a city. So we're going to show the importance of controlling your spirit, which is that these women are bad at once they go into the weaker vessel. And those are tying together. As is Proverbs 25:28, just another point, as he that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. And also not saying a man has perfect, complete control, over his emotions, spirit. But it's going to that point how these women are, the weaker vessels are more susceptible to these things, So as we're even going to read, he that had no rule of his own spirit is like a city that's broken down and without walls. You're pretty much defenseless. Anything can set you off. Especially these spirits can pretty much walk in and out. Like that point, you have these spirits who, will especially work through a lot of these women or just people in general to try to get every reaction out of you, make you do something, tempting you, whatever the case may be, But that's pretty much the point right there. Just wanted to quick get through the spirit. Thought I'd make the lesson, go into that video. I remember playing a couple seconds of it, and first thing came to mind was, the weaker vessel, which is, these women. But, that's it right there. To close out, give all praise, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shem, Kakadash, and Shalom. See you next one, Lord's will.